What's going on, Detroit Lions fans, and welcome. The Detroit Lions have now moved to 2-1 on the season, and today we're going to talk about their performance against the Atlanta Falcons, how well that defense played. And even with all the injuries, I think a lot of us were worried that this game wouldn't go the way we wanted it to. Coming off that horrible defensive performance last week against the Seahawks, I think we were all a little worried about how our defense was going to play, missing guys like CJ, James Houston, Kirby Joseph. So I was very interested to see how they did, and they definitely overperformed. The offense was a little, they weren't great, but definitely could have been worse. So we're going to talk about the game. We're going to recap everything. I'm going to give my thoughts. We're going to talk about certain players that really showed up, including, highlighting a couple of rookies, not even first-round rookies, by the way. So we're going to talk about that, and so let's go ahead and get right into it. Also, just want to apologize in advance. My microphone was not working, the one that I usually use. So I am just recording this through my phone audio. So if you can hear background noises and stuff, I'm sorry. But so starting off with this game, it started off pretty good. The offense, they went 3 and out. And then obviously Cam Sutton, who had a really good game. He's been really good these first 3 weeks. He gave up that one pass, and that was really it for Sutton. I mean, other than that, I didn't see him giving up really any catches or anything. I thought he played a great game. But Lions, they ended up driving down the field, kicking a field goal. Went up 3-0. Falcons would end up tying it up. Defense just really, they proved to, I think, everyone that they are, legit. And one thing I want to mention is how my expectation going into this game was how I thought the Falcons were just going to run the ball, maybe throw 1 out of every 4 or 5 plays. I just really thought that their game plan was just going to be pound the ball with Bijan and Tyler Algier, which is what they, kind of did. But at the same time, Desmond Ridder, I think, threw 25, 30 passes. Never mind, I just checked. He actually threw 38 passes. So to correct myself, he threw 38 passes. And they only ran the ball 7 times. But I do want to mention that the Detroit Lions gave up less than 50 rushing yards today. And I did not know that until just now when I checked. That is insane for probably the best rushing team in the entire NFL, just due to the fact that they've got 2 really good running backs, a solid, I wouldn't say a great O-line, but a solid offensive line. And then a quarterback that, isn't great. Desmond Ridder really, probably maybe a top 25 quarterback in the NFL, if that. Really, nothing too hard. But, any quarterback in the NFL can go for 300 yards any given day. Ridder, on the other hand, he went for 201 yards. So my goal going into this game was to hold the Falcons to under 200 yards passing and under 100 yards rushing. I was expecting to give up at least 150 rushing and probably about 150 to 200 passing. That was my expectation. I was expecting about 150 to 200 passing and then probably close to 150 rushing. We gave up less than 50 rushing yards. Bijan Robinson had 10 carries for 33 yards. Tyler Algier had 7 carries for, I think, 12 yards. Incredible performance. That run defense, we've been praising them throughout the season, as well as last year too. There was a lot of good performances. That run defense, we've been praising, but this was the real test going into a game where this team runs the ball a lot. 2 really good running backs, probably 2 of the top 20. Bijan's probably a top 5 to 10 running back already. He's looked great. Algier's probably in the top 20 or so. So for us to only give up 45 rushing yards combined to both of them, I wasn't expecting it. I honestly thought we'd probably give up close to 150, maybe even 200 yards. I'd say anywhere in between 150 to 200. The fact that we held them, and also we didn't give up any touchdowns. Another just amazing thing. The defense they overperformed. Wasn't what I expected, but man, credit to a few players. We're going to get into the players here in a minute. I just kind of wanted to recap. Going over to the offensive side, struggled. It wasn't a pretty game offensively. I thought that could have been better. Goff looked really good to start the game. I think he was 15 of 17 at one point in the first half. He was just looking really good. He kind of got a little rusty, not rusty's probably not the right term, but he started, not throw the nicest passes in the second half, and we kind of went on a stalemate where we just were not able to really pass the ball well. The run game was okay. Gibbs, he had that one drive where he just completely just let us down the field. And then other than that, he didn't do too much, but he still had a good game. I think he had 74 rushing yards on 16 carries. And then just 1 catch. I don't know what was going on with that. I don't know why we're not giving him at least 5 catches a game. Still not happy with the usage of Gibbs. And that's one thing I wanted to talk about was even Jack Campbell. He had a sack, so I got to give that to him. But, man, why are we not putting these first-round rookies in more. I mean, it was just weird. I thought Gibbs deserved more play time. He's being our primary running back. He got 16 carries, which I'm fine with, per game. 15 carries, that's fine with me. We should also be getting 5 catches. The fact that he had less than 20 touches that game really angered me, pissed me off. He should be getting, especially in a game without Montgomery, 20 to 25 touches. Whether it's, 20 carries, 5 catches, or 17 carries, 8 catches, stuff like that. So it should be somewhere in the 20 to 25 range. But yeah, other than that, offensively, Amon-Ra, huge game. Obviously, Sam Laporta, what a steal. I mean, that guy already probably a top 3 to 5 tight end so far this year in the NFL. Dude has been a monster. So happy with him. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get into some players. So I'm going to go through my 3 biggest winners of the game, and then I'm going to go through... I'm not going to do losers today because, honestly, I didn't see anyone who was really... I might do a couple, actually, because I do have one in mind for now. So let's go ahead and just kind of get into it. Looking at the first winner, how about Brian Branch, the rookie, middle of the second round? No one knows how he fell that far, why he fell that far, but the Lions were able to trade up and steal him from the Green Bay Packers. And now he's already looking like a potential defensive rookie of the year candidate because, to be honest, he's honestly been one of the best rookies so far this year. I thought that he had by far just an amazing performance today. I think it was either 7 or 8 tackles. He had a couple of pass breakups as well. The dude, I mean, he missed that tackle right there. And then I think the very next play, he ended up just completely blowing it up in the backfield of Bijan Robinson. Maybe not. It might have been the play after. So I don't know. I just remember him completely making up for a missed tackle. But that was really his only missed tackle of the game. The dude was he was all over the field. The dude he looked like a vet out there playing. I mean, he was just out there batting down passes, dropping back in coverage, making plays, and just laying out people and making hits that were... He looked great. I just really am happy with how he's performing and stepping up with CJ and Kirby out. Ife Melifuanu, I don't know how to say his last name. He had a good game as well, I thought. I really just thought our secondary in general looked good. Jerry Jacobs honestly looked a lot better. I was happy with him. Hopefully Mosley's back this week. Really hoping. For the Packers, I'm really hoping that we're almost fully healthy for that game. Obviously, we'll be missing CJ in Houston for a while, but I'm hoping we can at least get Decker or Vitae back, which I think we will. And hopefully Kirby's back as well. Very happy to see Josh Reynolds and Amon-Ra healthy after missing a lot of practices. But Brian Branch, man, if he hasn't impressed you yet, already a pick 6 against Pat Mahomes back in week 1. And then now a huge 7, 8 tackles. I forget how many it was. Huge performance today, dropping back in coverage, making plays left and right. You can see it right there. Dude was all over the field, and he looked great. Moving into our second winner, who else could it be besides Sam Laporta? This guy, man, I mean, he had like 5 catches in the first half alone. I think he had 3 in the first quarter. I mean, he is just a catching machine. He's like our main receiver right now. He's had 5. He's the only tight end in NFL history, by the way, to have 5 catches in each of his first 3 games. It was actually week 2, 5 catches in the first 2 games of his career. That was also a record. So to see him out there, I think, what was it today? I think it was, I'm going to check real quick, actually. Okay, so it was 8 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown. Obviously, he had that 45-yard touchdown earlier on, and I think in the first half. By the way, I just checked. Brian Branch had 11 tackles, not 7 or 8 like I thought. 11 tackles is insane for a rookie. That is awesome. But obviously, looking at Sam Laporta, the 8 catches, 84 yards, in the touchdown. The dude he's just a beast. I think he's already making a case for being a top 5 to 10 tight end. I think he's already a top 10 tight end, to be honest. He's making a case for top 5. And if you guys were disappointed in the TJ Hockenson trade, which I don't know how you would be, especially as of now, but if you were disappointed in that trade, man, what a trade. Brad Holmes just finessing. Sam Laporta already looks like more than what Hockenson was. I mean, obviously Hawkinson's probably a top 3 tight end in the NFL. We got to give him his credit. When he was healthy, he was really good, but Sam Laporta is just looking awesome. Our third winner of the day, by the way, Aiden Hutchinson, who stepped up big time towards the end of the game. He had himself a day. Obviously, he had 2 sacks, a forced fumble and fumble recovery, plus I think he had 4 tackles. His best performance of the season. In that Chiefs game, he was insane as well. He just didn't get the stats. First 2 games, he hasn't gotten the stats, so it was nice to see him finally get a couple, see him do the stanky leg out there. He looked great as well. So happy with him, and I really expect him to be a top 5 defensive player this year. He's looking really good. I'm very happy with him. So to finish things up, just kind of looking at the biggest losers that I kind of saw from today. By the way, we only had 4 players with a reception, and Gibbs only had 1 catch for 2 yards. So really we had 3. That was Amon-Ra, it was Sam Laporta, and it was Khalif Raymond. So biggest losers for the day have to go to Marvin Jones Jr., who for the third straight week, and I thought he was going to have a big week this week. 3rd straight week, just underperforming. Josh Reynolds, obviously nothing. It's whatever for him. And then Jahmyr Gibbs, I wouldn't say is the loser because he actually had a good game, but just not using him was really disappointing. So to cap things off, one of the best defensive performances I've seen from the Detroit Lions. Offensively, struggled here and there, got the job done when needed, put up 20 points. They look good, even being banged up. The Lions looked great. Defensively, like I said, one of the top performances I've ever seen. Offensively, looking good. More to improve on, obviously, but they look good. And yeah, this was just a way better game, way better coached game. Time management, whatever you want to say, and just players were showing up. 6 sacks defensively, just looked awesome. I loved what I saw today. So very happy with the Lions' performance, bouncing back from last week. One of the biggest games of the season coming up this Thursday. Let's see what happens. Let's beat Green Bay. Let's walk in there and let's take them down. Go Lions, and thank you for watching.